If you change the frequency of a piece of matter, you change its structure. But what happens when an entire geographic landscape is tuned to a precise cosmic vibration? We are taught to look at nations as political territories divided by lines on a map. But there is one land engineered from the bedrock up to operate a massive living talisman, a cosmic mirror anchored directly into the crust of the earth. This isn't a poetic metaphor. It is a masterwork of metaphysical engineering where geology mirrors human anatomy. Beneath the visible ridges lies an energy grid anchored not by the swords of kings but by a silent mystic sealing the confluence of two sacred rivers. We are talking about Nepal. Welcome to Refracting Reality. Today we decode exact iconographical facts and primary Sanskrit manuscripts to prove that Nepal is not just a country, it is an active metaphysical engine, a living fortress where a single unbroken thread of tantric mystery bridges the Hindu and Buddhist worlds to activate the deepest potentials of human consciousness. To understand this cosmic grid, we must look to its origin. Who actually laid the structural foundations of this sacred land? For answers, we turn to Nepal's oldest surviving royal chronicle, the Gopal Raj Vamsavali. Written on ancient palm leaves called Tadapatra, it records the pivotal presence of a legendary sage named Nemuni. Long before dynasties took root, the Kathmandu Valley was a massive, wild, primordial lake. Independent Buddhist and Hindu texts both validate the exact same dramatic geological transition, the draining of these waters to transform a volatile basin into a habitable ecosystem. While Vajrayana Buddhist history credits the Bodhisattva Manjusri with cutting open the Chobar Gorge to release the waters, Hindu history records Nemuni establishing his seat of authority at Tekudoban, the sacred confluence of the Bagmati and Vishnumati rivers. According to the Nepal Mahatmya, Nemuni operated under a direct divine mandate from Lord Shiva manifested as Pasupatinath. The sage coronated the region's first peaceful monarch, stabilizing the wild landscape because this land was spiritually guarded and civilized by this specific mystic. It took the name Nepal, meaning protected by Ne. But this drainage of water wasn't just a geographical event, it mirrors a deeper esoteric process, the opening and purification of the nadis, the subtle energy channels of the human body. By draining the outer lake, the ancient masters cleared the physical ground to cultivate the guya, the hidden interior potential of cosmic consciousness. This brings us directly to the astrological frequency of the land itself. In Jyotish, the sound frequency Ne is the precise phonetic key assigned to the final pada of Anuradha Nakshatra. Crucially, it sits in a highly potent Bhargottama position in both the Rasi and Navamsa charts, residing entirely within Scorpio or Vrishchik Rasi, a water sign governing the hidden currents of cosmic life force, the Guya. On earth, this frequency manifests precisely at the Guyeswari temple built directly over a natural sacred water spring issuing from the living bedrock. Here, Nepal's two great spiritual lineages gracefully wrap around the exact same stone. In the Shakta tradition, the Devi Bhagavata Puran marks this spot as where the Guya, the sacred procreative seat of the goddess Sati, merged with the earth. Venerated as the unmanifest throne of Guya Kali, canonical tantric texts like the Meru Tantra, Brihad Dharma Purana, and local Vamsavalis confirm the entire Guda fell here on the southern bank of the Bagmati river near Mrigasthali. Concurrently, the Vajrayana tradition through the Newar Buddhist Swambhu Purana reveres this identical spot as the Pragya Bela, the hidden conduit from which the root of the primordial lotus of Swambhu emerged, recognized as the sacred matrix of Vajrayogini. By recognizing this single natural spring as both the root of Guyasori and the womb of Vajrayogini, the ancient traditions never clashed. They understood they were meditating upon the exact same source of ultimate reality, the magical, unmanifest power of Guhyakali, and the protective illumination of Vajrayogini emerged from the exact same primordial Adya Kundalini, the ultimate, undivided cosmic source. Because the land held this ultimate vault of esoteric knowledge, the sacred heart of Guhyaswari required an unshakable shield. When threatened by a catastrophic 12-year drought, the ancient masters looked east along the Scorpio axis to the core node of Tantric power in Assam. Historical records detail how the brilliant Buddhist master Bandhu Datta Vajracharya embarked on an epic expedition to Kamarupa Kamakhya to invoke Masindranath, recognized in the Vajrayana tradition as Mahakarunamaya, the ultimate master of the water element and cosmic compassion. To protect this cosmic compassion in a volatile world, a self-originating power emerged from a sacred fount near Kamarupa to accompany him as a fierce vanguard, Chanda Maharoshana, the supreme king of wrath. Primary Sanskrit manuals such as the Chanda Maharoshan Tantra describe this deity as locked in the unshakable Achalasana, kneeling position, and immovable posture designed to destroy delusion and absorb hostility. Structurally bridging both worlds, Chanda Maharoshan serves a specific cosmic role to act as an absolute shield against Sankat, crisis, and external negativity, neutralizing the storms to life-giving energy can safely dwell in the valley. Today, this journey is celebrated during the annual chariot festival of Rato Machindranath in Patan, the longest and most complex festival in Nepal, where iconographic manuals confirm this wrathful power acts as the protective armor guarding cosmic compassion. This profound protective alliance is perfectly preserved in the center of the capital at the sacred courtyard of Te Bahal. The ancient architects used a multi-tiered layout to honor both the compassionate core and the wrathful shield, housing Karunamaya or Machindranath on the ground floor and a fierce protector on the upper floor to absorb incoming crisis. To the public, this upper sanctuary is a deeply revered Hindu temple dedicated to Ganesh Sankata, the remover of calamities. Her central image, heavily wrapped in sacred black cloth, to reveal only her metallic face. Yet the daily inner rituals are conducted exclusively by hereditary Newar Buddhist Vajracharya priest. To decode this cross-religious synthesis, we look to the primary Sanskrit scripture of the Mahakala Samhita, specifically the Sankata Sahasranam Stotram, the 1,000 names of Goddess Sankata. In this litany, the deity is fully unveiled with the phrase Sri Sankata Harini Sankata Devata, revealing her not merely as a localized goddess but as an absolute dynamic shield against planetary afflictions and existential crisis. Through this textual lens, we discover that Sankata and Chanda Maharoshan operate in perfect parallel. The ancient masters kept the idol beautifully veiled to emphasize their shared esoteric function. The public prays to the maternal face of Sankata to dissolve adversity, while the inner ritual mechanics align directly with the wrathful defensive frequency of Chanda Maharoshana. Both function as a unified force field where defensive power and absolute truth become one. These deep esoteric connections are verified textual facts written down centuries ago as a precise science. To secure these secrets from endangered private libraries across the valley, the Nepal German Manuscript Preservation Project microfilmed over 180,000 ancient documents. This monumental effort permanently preserved foundational primary proofs, including the original Sanskrit manuscript of the Bhuta Damar Tantra, the Chanda Maharoshan Tantra, and the rare Sankata Sahasranama. Critically, the project rescued the sprawling Guhyakali Khanda, a massive foundational section of the Gargantuan Mahakala Samhita, long believed to be extinct by mainstream scholarship. This scriptural archive explicitly establishes the supreme power of the tantric deity Guhyakali, mathematically mapping her 10-headed iconography to show how her unmanifest void energy anchors the entire Himalayan matrix. The physical subterranean water spring of Guyesuri, meaning the sovereign of the sacred part, acts as the external physical gateway to this living cosmic current pulsing within it. Modern field documentation by the Nepal Heritage Documentation Project at Heidelberg University further confirms this synthesis within the digital archive DANAM. Their official records explicitly verify that in the local liturgical manuals used daily by Newar priests, the deity Sankata is systematically recognized and addressed as an alternative title for Chanda Maharosana and Achala, proving the traditions of both Hindus and Buddhists share a completely unified metaphysical reality. What then is the ultimate secret of this cosmic blueprint? Nepal's architectural monuments and sacred boundaries form an interlocking metaphysical engine, a living tantric grid engineered for the systematic evolution of human awareness and the awakening of the inner kundalini. Its precise mechanics operate in a precise sequential flow starting at Tekudovan, where the river confluence purifies the outer water to mirror the cleansing of the nadis, moving to Pasupatinath, where grand pillars anchor the vertical axis as the cosmic spine, plunging into the subterranean water springs of Guyesuri to activate the earth's root socket and unleash the unmanifest potential of Guyekali and Vajrayogini, and finally concluding at Tebahal, which erects a fierce defensive shield under the frequency of Sankata to permanently insulate this volatile core. To traverse this sacred geography with awareness is to undergo a literal ascension. The individual's energy is drawn up from the root socket of the earth, insulated by the wrathful shield of Sankata, cooled by the life-giving compassion of Karunamaya, and delivered directly into the crown chakra, the absolute place of pure awareness. The name Nepala remains an active, ongoing reality where the deepest mechanics of human consciousness were written in stone, preserved in palm leaves, and protected by silence. Join us next time on Refracting Reality as we continue to map the hidden grids of our world. Stay conscious. Om Hum Shrim Rim Vajra Chine Hum Hum Phat Swaha Aim.